everybody. This is the Coffee with Kaylee podcast. I'm here with Cindi Markham today, and we are going to be talking about some good stuff. So let's get started. Are you a coffee drinker?
I am a coffee drinker.
How do you like your coffee?
I like my coffee with I like all different kinds of creamers. I love whipped cream on top. I always have whipped cream on top. Sprinkles, lots of times sprinkles. A lot of times I'll put peppermint candy in mine, chocolate shavings on top, little tiny marshmallows. I just like it all kinds of crazy ways. I don't like it just plain. Yeah.
All right. Let's go into our first question. Tell me about your childhood and how you ended up here in this area.
Oh, wow. Well, going way back, my dad loved Northern Michigan. He grew up in Detroit. And he didn't want to raise his family in the city.
Okay.
So we moved up to Boyne Falls when I was a little girl. Well, I was actually, I believe, born up here. No, I was born in Royal Oak, but we moved up, I think, when I was 1 to Boyne Falls. And we lived on a couple farms out in the country in Boyne Falls.
Okay, so you grew up in the Boyne City area, but how did you get here to Traverse City?
Well, that's a really long story, but short side, God told us, my husband and I, that we were going to move down here. I remember coming down to Traverse. I was probably in my late teens, maybe early 20s, and thinking, if I was going to live anywhere else in Michigan, I would pick Traverse City. And I just thought that in my mind, like this could be a place I could call home.
Yeah.
But I never, ever thought I would come here. And then we were pastors, youth pastors in Boyne, and our youth group was growing and just exploding. It was so much fun. And we left at the highest point, I would say, in the youth ministry. We never left because we were disgruntled or, we're getting out of here. We left because God said, I want you to move to Traverse. And it's interesting. He told my husband and I both at the same time. We were in the car driving down to speak to a minister that had shared with us a word that he felt was from the Lord. And we weren't quite sure what to think about it. And on the way I'm looking out, I know exactly when he said it to me. I was looking out at the water coming down, when you come through Acme. And he said, you're going to move to Traverse City. And he told my husband at the same time, he said, this minister is going to offer you a position in his church, and I want you to take it. But we didn't say anything to each other. And I'm looking out at the water going, oh, we're going to move here? Well, where are we going to go to church? And what are we going to do? And the kids in school. My mind's just going a million miles an hour. And everything that God told my husband was going to happen did. So we packed our bags, and it was very bittersweet. It was really difficult.
I'm sure.
A lot of tears. And we told the youth goodbye because those were all my kids. It makes me cry.
Okay.
I loved them. I loved them so much. But we had to leave.
Yeah.
And I love my family. And we came here, and I don't have any regrets. I'm so thankful that we did. We were just talking about this yesterday, my husband and I. Like, look, if we hadn't come here, if this hadn't happened, Brittany wouldn't have met Darren, and we were going through the whole thing. But I still, deep in my heart, have such a love for Boyne City area because I have such good memories there and good here.
Yeah.
So that's what brought us here. We've been here, oh my gosh, 1992, I believe. Was it 1992? 1992 we came here.
Okay. The year I was born.
Was it really?
Yeah, so we're going on 34 years.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Was there a moment or an experience that shaped your desire to make a difference here?
I can't say a certain moment. It's just an overall feeling of wanting to bring love and grace to a place. And I think one of the things I've learned in life is don't underestimate the smallest thing that you do. Like it can start a ripple effect.
That's true.
And you know how they always say pay it forward. You buy somebody coffee and somebody buys somebody coffee. Well, you don't know who you're touching. In even a stranger in the line behind you, you might have just made their day. They might have been really, you know, depressed or looking like nobody cares about me in life. So I think wanting to affect people and atmospheres has always been something that I don't know, it's just within me. It's kind of like my mom. My mom, everything was about atmosphere with her. Like we would literally go into a restaurant, and this is funny, when McDonald's first came out, my dad took us to McDonald's, and it was downstate, and we had 5 kids. So we all go in McDonald's, and my mom's there, and she looks around, she goes, there is no atmosphere in this place. We're leaving. And my dad's like, Joyce. She's like, no, Johnny, we're leaving. There's no atmosphere. And as little kids, you're like, atmosphere? I don't care about atmosphere. I want a cheeseburger, you know, but that was my mom.
Yeah.
She was so aware of atmosphere. And I definitely got that from her because I like atmosphere and I could sense good, not so good, you know?
Yeah.
So I've always wanted to change in some regard the atmosphere of a place. And I think that just one person, no matter how insignificant sometimes you feel, which I do, I think can do that. And I was thinking about this the other day, like, I don't think it's until you really die, which is really morbid to say, that you would know how much you touch people's lives. And I realized that after Tasha left, how many people said what she meant to them and how much she changed their lives, but she didn't know that.
I know.
She didn't hear that. And I was thinking about that the other day, like, that's why I always love our covenant meal. Why do you wait to tell somebody how they've touched you after they're gone? Because one little thing that you do can set the ball in motion for somebody's life. So I just don't anymore try to take for granted or underestimate maybe one thing that I could do, and it gives you purpose. Especially when you get older and you're like, what am I doing now?
It's that saying, you can never underestimate the power of planting a seed.
Yes. Okay, I like that.
Yeah. That you put it in the ground.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen to it. And then next thing you know, in a few months, you have more tomatoes than you know what to do with.
It's so good. So true.
Yeah. Okay. Who in your childhood really inspired you to be who you are now?
Oh, boy. You know, this was hard. This was really, I thought about this question and I thought, I know Jesus would be the number one. I grew up because we didn't have a TV. My mom had every Bible story on record. So I would listen to those Bible stories over and over and over and over. And we probably had about 30 of them maybe. And they were all about, you know, the Old Testament and the New. But Jesus always, even as a little child, he always grabbed my heart in the stories. And I know that just the Bible stories about him influenced me as a little girl. After that, it had to be my parents, both of my parents. My mom was very strong-willed, independent lady. I don't know if I told you, I told someone the other day, she bought a house.
Yes.
She bought a house without asking my dad. And in Petoskey. And my dad, we lived at the time in Rockford.
Oh.
And she went up to Petoskey because we were moving up. And she bought a house. He's like, you bought the house? You already bought it? She's like, yep. And it was really cool because we didn't live there, but I think a year. She redid the house, painted it. Us kids helped. And then when we sold it, we made money on it. My dad was like, good job,
Yeah.
Joyce. At the time, he was like, what? But that was my mom. I mean,
Yeah.
my mind would go, no. But my mom was very energetic, a go-getter, very loving. I loved her laugh. She laughed with everything she had. She would throw her head back and she would belly laugh, and I could still hear her laughter, and she loved to laugh, which
Yeah.
made it nice growing up.
Yeah.
She was a good disciplinarian. She was a little crazy in the way she disciplined. I don't do it the way she did, but I get it. It was the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And she was good at making something out of nothing.
Mm.
We had chipped beef on toast. We had mustard sandwiches. We had Johnny bread and bean soup. And we thought, at least I thought, we had those because we loved that. No, we were broke. We were broke.
With 5 kids.
Yeah. So she could make, but here's the thing. My mom was very hospitable. We had company over almost every Sunday after church.
Wow.
And we had 5 kids. And she would invite families with 5 kids. Because everybody had 5 kids or more. She would invite everybody, and she would just throw more potatoes in the pot. More vegetables. We would all get a little piece of meat.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't as much about how much food we had. It was about relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And so our home was always filled with people,
Okay.
which I wanted to withdraw when I got married and it was quiet. I'm like, this sucks. I don't like this at all. I'm bored. I grew up in a family that was always busy. With people.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad was a lover in the sense of always forgive, always love. Love wins is one of his sayings. Love wins, and pay no attention. Mm-hmm. He has like a few things that I always remember, like he'd go, big plus sign.
Oh, yes.
Even when he preached.
Yep.
And love wins, and pay no mind, Cindy. It's going to be okay. And I have so many stories of where he forgave people. Like I wanted to throw rocks.
Yeah.
I'm like, to the mattresses. Whoa, we're going. And my dad was like, no. It's okay. Pay no attention. And one of them, I was like 14. And I was downtown at the school, and there was a church across from the playground. Mm-hmm. And I was on the swings. I don't know. My brothers were playing basketball. Mm-hmm. And this church had a street, like a street service. Mm-hmm. They would do it every Friday. They would have like a street service for a while. And they were outside. They had this microphone blasting, and they were doing their service. And I thought, oh, that was interesting, I'm listening from the swings. And they literally called my dad Boney Spony. Yeah. And started criticizing my dad from the pulpit out on the street. And I was so mad. I got on my bike, which I rode down there.
Yeah.
And I rode all the way home, which was about, 2 miles uphill. I was so mad. And I get in the house and I'm like, Dad, you need to go down there. I was like, you need to go down there basically and fight this preacher. Mm-hmm. I wanted Dad to go punch him.
Justice.
And my dad started laughing. Now, at 14, this made a huge impression on me. He just started laughing. He goes, oh, Cindy, pay no mind. Just don't pay any attention to that. And I'm like, Dad, you need to stick up for yourself. And back then, honestly, Kaylee, I saw it as a weakness. Like, you don't fight. You're too nice. You're a pansy.
Yeah.
I did.
In that moment, you had forgot all your Jesus stories from a child.
Oh, heck yeah. I was like, I'm throwing fists. But they were picking on my dad.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. But my dad taught me to forgive. And he's like, no, we're going to just forgive them. And later, I look back at that. That impacted me probably the most. Because I've been in the ministry now quite a few years, and you forgive a lot.
Yeah.
But their church wasn't there very long.
Go figure.
I mean, not to be rude, but my daddy's church that he started and built is still going and growing strong there in that area. And I think sometimes, you just have to sit back and wait because people are a product of their attitudes. And so it's best to walk in love.
Yeah.
And I learned a big lesson to walk in love.
And not only that, back to reading an atmosphere, he was putting out an atmosphere of hate. And I can only imagine the people in that crowd were saying, if he's willing to say that about him, what does he say about me when I'm not around?
Yeah.
That's probably what would have went through my head.
Publicly. I thought it was like really bold. But, a 14-year-old, I was just mad. I was just.
Yep.
And there's still times in life I just get mad because I like justice. I like truth,
And you're human.
Yeah. And I have to grab a hold of myself, and I could hear my dad in my head. Oh, pay no attention. Love wins. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear it right now. But
you have a little bit of your mom in you.
Yeah. She was feisty.
Yeah.
He was more calm. But he left that with me. And it's permeated through my whole family. My kids, my youngest would get really mad. And I'm like, honey, let's forgive. I'm not forgive. I'm like, come on, we're going to forgive. No. And then like 2 hours, sometimes 3, he would come back to me and go, okay, mommy, I forgive now. And then we would pray a prayer and we'd forgive. But it would take him a while, which is probably, I'm wired that way.
Yeah.
My first instinct was like,
me too.
But then I get softer and I allow love to start to win.
I need time to process it and really realize that it's not as big of a deal as I'm making it. I just need to, get off my high horse at some point.
Yeah.
So I understand that.
But yeah, that's those 3. Jesus, my mom, and dad.
Love it. All right. What is one story you can share of how your work in the community has sparked change? And that's one thing we didn't really go into.
Yeah.
Your work and what you've done. And one thing I'd love for you to touch on is raising foster care kids, because that has a huge impact on our community and definitely a huge need.
Yeah.
And the other thing is just all the ministry work that you've done over the years. You are started as my pastor about 15 years ago. You've stepped into the bishop role now, and it's made a huge impact on me. So I'm sure there's a lot of people that feel the same.
That's encouraging to hear. I'm a words person. And so sometimes I can ride on one word from somebody that says, that really helped me. And I'm like, really? Okay. That encourages me. I think one of the doing foster care, I did it for 9 years. Having my foster kids, especially one, come back after all of these years. And oh goodness, she's 50 something now. And tell me that, and write letters. You get letters, thank you for what you gave me. And seeing the beautiful life I believe that she has created. Actually, 2 of my girls always makes me feel like it was worth it. Because when you're doing foster care, you're never going to do it for the money.
Yeah.
There isn't enough money on the planet to pay you for the situations that you're going to run into. I mean, and I ran into them. We were doing youth ministry at the time too, so it was a lot of the youth even became my kids, and some of them, they came from homes that were broken or difficult. They didn't necessarily feel they weren't healthy homes.
Yeah.
That I would say were healthy. And so you kind of take them all on. I took all the kids on. I was a mama to a lot. And I have to give kudos to my kids. They just rolled with the punches. Even I look at my daughter, my oldest daughter. She never had her own bedroom till she was like 13.
Okay.
She was older. She had to always be with her sister because we had foster kids.
Okay.
And so, and they, pretty much had their own room by themselves. So my kids sacrificed, but in all of that, we both of us, we have no regrets because we see the results of that. You're looking at not just your foster kids, but their children and
Yeah.
their children. I've always been a generational
Yeah.
thinker.
And you
Like,
change the dynamic by being the example that you were
yeah.
to them.
Yeah, so I think with me, the one story in our community here, we didn't do foster care a long time in Traverse. It was a lot different than doing it up in Boyne.
Okay.
I had different caseworkers. The dynamics with them were not the same. We were actually foster family of the year up there, and
Oh.
kind of, I know it sounds silly, but very honored, more celebrity people knew us up
Yeah.
there. You move down to
Small
Traverse.
town feel.
Yeah, and my caseworkers had so much confidence in us. Well, down here, the dynamics totally switched. I didn't feel heard as
Okay.
much by the foster care system, and so I opted out fairly quick once I
Okay.
got down here. But I've always done, call it foster care. We were adding up how many people have lived with us over the years, and I think it's close to 30.
Okay.
So they were all like kids, and they might
Yeah.
pop in for 6 months, 2 years, 5 years,
Yeah.
whatever. But my home was open, and um, I have a lot of things about that I'm glad we did, and I have some regrets. A little bit. I
Okay.
look back and go, okay, I could have handled this differently. But that's how you grow and learn.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and I wanted to change lives, one life at a time.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Awesome. What's been the toughest challenge for you when trying to make a change here?
My very toughest challenge here, and I can't say it took me out, but it almost took me out, because you go through ebbs and flows, ups and downs, challenges, victories, you go through in life, and just in general, not just in ministry or just in life as a parent, as a person. But losing my daughter 7 years ago was the toughest thing I ever went through ever in life. And I know that it threw me back. I didn't feel, I couldn't find who I was before that. And I'll never find that person again. And that's the weirdest thing. You lose not only someone you love deeply, but you lose a part of yourself you'll never rediscover, because I'm so different after losing her. I'm not the same person, and that's okay. But it was such a tough challenge to continue on.
Yeah.
I tell people I sat on the couch out there in the other room for 2 months, and I just stared. I didn't have the TV on. I wouldn't have ate had people not fed me. When you bring food to people after someone dies, I lived it, how important that is. People bring a casserole, they're like, oh, they're bringing food. You bring those casseroles. Bring whatever you can, because depending on, especially how it affects the mama, you don't want to do anything. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't care if I got up and showered. I just sat on the couch and stared, because I had just lost one of my best friends.
Yeah.
And it was a shock. I mean, we lost her in 25 days. And so that probably was the biggest challenge for me to continue the vision and the work here, to stay. Because, I mean, we had ups and downs. People, you're going to have lovers and haters.
Yeah.
You're going to do it wrong. You're going to do it wrong.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to apologize for doing it wrong, but you're going to get things right. And in the process of all of that, you're still growing. Like I tell people now, I've never been 65 before.
Yeah.
Almost 66. Give me a break. I've never done this.
Yeah.
And so you're never going to stop growing, changing, learning, failing, getting back up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so that was, God and I had an issue. I wasn't angry at him. I was disappointed.
Yeah.
And I was sad. It makes me cry. I felt like I'd seen God do so many miracles in our
Yeah.
ministry for other people. Even I'm like, why my daughter?
Yeah.
Why my girl? She was one of the sweetest babies. And
Talented author,
she
writer.
was just, and my friend.
Yeah.
And I still talk to her. But I've told God, I said, I don't understand everything that went on. And I probably won't this side of heaven.
Probably not.
Some things you just have to shelf.
Yeah.
And I've come to the conclusion, first of all, that this wasn't his fault. And he is really good. And he was there with me through it all. And honestly, Kaylee, I have to say, he's still doing it. But for like 5 years after, he literally spoiled the crap out of me. I know those may be weird words, but he did. It was almost like if I thought I wanted something, it would come to me. I'm like, why are you doing that? He lavished me with things, it was almost like everything became really easy for a period of time where, like, my car, I'm like, I want a slug bug. I want one. I think,
Yeah.
and I get a slug bug within, well, I said that on, like, I think it was July 5th. And I had a slug bug. I was driving at 3 o'clock the next day. What?
Yeah.
Literally things like that he would do for me. And I'm like, okay, this is blowing my mind. And I went through, and he still does that for me.
Yeah.
But he was trying to show me, when your kids are hurting and they're hurting, you're like, do you want to go get some ice cream?
Yeah.
I used to buy Barbie dolls for Kaylee.
Yeah.
Every time she had to go to the dentist, I went to the store and bought her a new Barbie doll because I knew she was going to go through pain.
Yeah.
And she was little because her teeth at the time were she was a juice baby. So, because she was allergic to milk. But anyways,
Yeah.
so I ended up making up for it, so to speak. Like, let's go do this. Let's do something fun. And that's my personality. And I think he did that with me.
Yeah.
And I just see where he's been so kind to me and so good to me in the pain, and it kept me going. I wasn't going to quit, but man, I kept thinking, what do I have to say now?
Yeah.
What do I have to give now? I felt at times, which is never your fault, and you are not responsible to heal anybody. And you can pray, but if somebody dies, I took it on like, what did I do? What could I have done differently? I did that with my mom when she died. Like, I didn't pray hard enough. I didn't do this enough. And with Tasha, it was even more. Like, what could I have done differently? I wish I would have known this and did that. I had to let it all go.
I remember Bishop Tim, your husband.
Yeah.
He got up and preached on the goodness of God after she passed away. And I was pregnant with Eli. And I was like extremely emotional. And I thought, like, that was probably one of the most impactful services that I have ever listened to, because you can preach, verses, but when somebody loses their daughter and they get up and preach wholeheartedly about the goodness of God and everything that God was doing in your life at that time, I was just like, you're living it. You truly are living the Christian lifestyle, because it doesn't promise that we're not going to go through trials. God promises he'll never leave us.
Yeah,
and
you're going to go through them.
It was some good stuff. I don't know if we have that recorded somewhere, but that was a milestone.
I wonder if we do have
sermon.
That on tape. I know that the day we came home from downstate, we were down in Ann Arbor, And we came here after she passed away. And I got up that morning. Before I got up, I was in bed, and I was all alone. My husband had gotten up, and I believe my son was upstairs. And I wailed. Like, you see those pictures of mothers that are bent over and their mouths open and they're screaming.
Yeah.
That was me. I didn't even know the pain. I didn't even know I could cry like that or scream. I didn't know that was even in there, but I wailed this huge scream cry for about 10 minutes. And it was intense. It was like every time I screamed and cried, I felt more pain. It was almost like when you have upset stomach and you're throwing up, all of that comes out, and then you're like, oh, I feel better. That's the natural. Well, the soul and the spirit, it was like that. It was like throwing up all the pain and the loss, because I couldn't even. We were supposed to go to the funeral home that day, and all this. There was so many things we were supposed to do, and I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't function. And so in doing that and crying, I literally felt like God was crying through me. It was a spirit cry. It was a broken soul cry. But after I stopped crying, I laid there. I could get up and I could function. And I went out and I sat on the couch in the other room, and I turned on YouTube. And the first time I ever heard the song, The Goodness of God, it came on. And I sobbed because it starts out, all my life you've been faithful. And all my life you've been so, so good. I think those are the words. Maybe I've got it a little bit backwards, but I'm sobbing on the couch, but it was a different cry. And I said to my husband, we have to have this. We have to play this at her memorial. We will play this song. And I still believe to this day, Kaylee, that she sent that from heaven to me. It's the first time I ever heard it. And every time we sing it at church, I cry.
Yeah.
Because it takes me back to that day. But I have to say, overall, God has been so good to me. I've come to the place with her loss that I'm thankful for this 36 years. And I'm thankful for what she left me. We have Ryder. We have her books. We have her songs. I have all the memories. And I still have her here. Her DNA's in me.
Yeah.
And so now I'm grateful for the 36 years. Some people don't even have that.
That's true. That's a great way to see it.
So, yeah, that was one of the most difficult times to keep going.
Yeah.
But I did. I'm on the other side of it. Still, I still have moments. It's crazy. Last night I laid in bed and I started thinking of Tasha, and I started to cry. It was probably like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I could hear her say, "Don't cry, Mama, don't cry. Mama, don't cry. Listen to me." And because after she passed away, I was in the hotel room down there. And then we drove up here. I sat up and I just started crying and crying. I want my Tasha. I want my Tasha. I want her to be alive. I want her to be alive. I just kept saying over and over. And I heard her say, "Don't cry, Mama. I am." I mean, verbally. And I went, oh, and the people that were in the room, they're like, "What?" I said, "She just spoke to me." And they're like, "What did she say?" I said, "She said, don't cry. I am." And I'll never forget that. She is alive.
Yeah.
And so I will still hear her when I have those fits of, because you will. Her. "Don't cry, Mom. It's okay." She kept going, "It's okay. It's okay. I'm doing good. I'm doing good." And I stopped last night and I went, "You are doing good. You're doing good. Just breathe." But you think that after 7 years, Keely, sometimes it feels like yesterday when you lose a child.
Grief is that way. For me, it's like I'm just losing my grandparents. They're probably like the closest relatives I've lost thus far, you know, and I will go to the store and I will see a little old couple together
Yeah.
that are been together 100 years. You know they have, you know, and it will just like it brings me to tears because
Yeah.
I'm like I can just see them. I can hear their voice. I can
Yeah.
see their posture. I can, we talked about having good memories in a home. Like my grandparents' house was my home away from home. I just it's because you get mad. You're like, all right, I'm in a public place. Like, get it
Yeah.
together. Like, quit your crying,
Yeah.
because it just hits you. It hits you
It does.
hard.
It does.
Right in the feels.
You know what, though, Kaylee? I learned after Tasha, and I've done this in ways I can cry and talk, cry and sing, cry and preach, but I would walk through Menards. One time I was walking through Menards, tears flowing down my face. Walmart was hard to go into because she worked there.
Yeah.
I could see her there. So I would just, first time I went into Walmart, I just sobbed, pushing my cart. People are staring at you. And I'm like, I didn't care. I didn't care. I've learned to let the tears flow. And after losing her, that was probably one of the healthiest things that I did was I said, I don't care when I'm crying, I'm going to cry wherever I want to, whenever I want to, and however I want to. And I did. I let the tears flow. I talked to her about everybody. I talked to everybody about her, and I would just cry.
Yeah.
But it helped heal me. And I remember walking through Menards just sobbing because there was a girl working there that had long hair just like her from the back. She was sitting down stocking shelves. And I went, oh, like this. It came out the corner. She was there. And I went, it looked just like Tosh from the back. And I just burst into tears.
Oh.
Just walked around crying,
Yeah.
People are like, I'm sorry, but this is how it is. And I fixed my car to resemble her, and I've done different things. I think I've just tried to follow my heart.
Yeah.
With the grief and not look at grief as a bad thing. Tears are so good. They're as important as laughing. You laugh, you change, endorphins. When you cry, you get rid of toxins. So tears are just as important. And I've got a whole swimming pool full in heaven. I'm going to be swimming because God collects them.
That's some good stuff. All right. We're on to number 6. Looking into the future, what is your vision for the work you are doing? And by that, I mean your work with the church and our ministry.
Oh, my. Well, first of all, I want to leave a lasting footprint. When you get in your 60s and your friends start dying, oh my gosh, I went to school, what do you call it? School reunion, class reunion.
Yeah.
And I didn't go last time. Then we did it 5 years ago, so it's probably been 10 years. And they had me pray over, they wanted me to pray over all the dead people, but I know what they meant. The people that passed away, pray. And so I prayed comfort because it was kids that were sad that people had passed.
Yeah.
Anyways, there was a list of them. Read off the names.
Oh, no.
And there was this big, long list. And I was just like, oh, my gosh. And that was 10 years ago. And so you end up, life becomes very precious and a little frail because death becomes more real. After losing Tasha, death was in my face.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think it could affect me like that. I didn't think it would happen to me.
Yeah.
And you expect your parents to pass and things like that. But when your friends start passing away, you start looking at life as every moment that I have, I should be thankful and take advantage of to a degree. I mean, I don't like run around like a chicken with my head cut off, but I look at life now differently as you're older. And so I want to leave a lasting footprint here, not just with my kids, because they're my greatest treasure, and my grandchildren. They'll carry on. They'll be a piece of me. But I want to leave a footprint here in the Grand Traverse area of the grace of God and the kindness of the Father and love. And I try to take that with me when I love to yard sale, wherever I go.
Yeah.
to leave a fragrance of who he is. And I have had so many open doors, running into people. One girl, she had lost her twins. They died at 5 weeks old. So angry at God. And she was really nice to me until she found out I was a pastor. She was so mad at me. I'm like, wow, what happened? And it ended up, we had a good relationship. I'd go back to her yard sale every year to bring her the love of God, though, in that pain.
Yeah.
Of she lost babies. That was before I lost Tasha.
Okay.
But I would like to leave grace and love on people so they take that into their future and they affect others. I also I want to work more with women. This has just come up lately. I've never had it really strong in my heart to do like a group setting with women, like maybe 6, not too big, you know, where we sit and we talk about stuff that we go through as women that nobody tells us about, like menopause.
And empty nesting.
Empty nesting, menopause. Not just that, but things that we've, grief and loss. Like you losing your grandparents, that's loss, but even losing your kids out of your house when they get older, that's loss. Or like I was telling my daughter, I said, you know, my granddaughter got married. Her 2 brothers just went through loss. She did too, but in a different way. She's moving into an apartment with a new husband.
Yeah.
They'll have baby. It's different when you're the one leaving, but when you're the one being left, you experience loss. And how do you help your kids go through that? I remember I was the baby of the family. Every one of my siblings moved out, and every time they moved out, the sadness. Well, you carry that into your future. You don't know that you're doing that.
Yeah.
So loss comes in all kinds of ways, you know, losing a job, losing a coworker, losing friends that pass away. So I want to do that. I want to do more intimate conversations. I mean, the pulpit's great, and I have that opportunity, but I want something one-on-one where we can sit down and have coffee and connect, maybe cry together.
Yeah.
Pray together, talk about things you go through, and maybe things that make you angry or mad, marriage things. And because if you don't have strong families, our society's not strong. And the breakdown of the family is the greatest thing that I see happening across the world, is to destroy the family.
Yeah.
And if we don't have strong families, we're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Our kids are in big trouble. And I just think about my grandkids having to grow up in a society where babies aren't important, life isn't important, old people aren't important. You know, the important things are all material. No, they're not.
Yeah. I mean, and they talk about that when people are on their deathbed. They're not asking what's the balance in my checking account. They want to know where their family is.
Who's around my bed when I pass? I want everybody I loved to be there holding my toes, you know, really.
Yeah.
And then I'll know I accomplished the right thing. If my family's there and if they love me. Because if your kids love you when they're older and they want to come home, you did something right. You might not have been perfect.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that much. I know I did things that I would change today because you grow and learn and you're like, oh, that was dumb.
Yeah.
But overall, having my kids love me is priceless to me, because I see moms that struggle with their kids leaving their parents now is a new thing. Like disassociating, it's all cool to what? You know? And I've got a deeper love for my mom and dad now, and it makes me sad than I ever did when I was younger, because I didn't think about it the same way.
Yeah.
You know, what my mom did to keep us alive. And I literally have come to tears in the last few weeks going, Mom, you were a good mom,
Yeah.
And I can't even tell her that.
Right.
I can't tell her other than heaven,
Yeah.
But if you have your mom alive, love her. you know, Give her the best of your heart. I would tell that to your people listening because she truly is the one that kept you alive.
Yeah.
Your dad brought life in her womb, but your mom fed you and you changed her body. You changed her hormones.
Yeah.
She pushed you out. She went
Mhm.
through extreme pain to bring life to you. If anything, if that's all you owe her for,
Mhm. It's enough.
so I look
That.
at things differently. Um, I don't know. I think I want to do things with women more.
Okay.
I want to have more small groups, more,
Mhm.
and that's going to start, I think, this fall.
There's such a need for that, especially women that maybe didn't have a good mother figure in their life. And I think back, like, it just really only takes one person in your life that believes in you and
Yeah,
just builds you up, and you have good memories with that person.
yeah,
And they've given you little nuggets to take with life, and just, just knowing that there's somebody that believes in you. One person, it's
yeah.
all it takes.
Well, I see that in you, Kaylee. Like, I watch you juggle 7 kids.
Mhm.
And here's the thing your kids are happy.
Yeah.
The countenance of your children, because I teach them in children's church,
Yeah.
says a lot. And they have a lot of energy,
Yes, they do.
but they are really sweet kids.
Mm.
And watching them grow up has been a real privilege for me and being
Mhm.
able to teach them. But it tells me about you.
Mm.
And I'm really proud of you. I think you're a good mom.
Thank you.
You have a lot going on, but the horses, everything you do for your babies, they might not say thank you because a lot of times kids don't. Maybe
Yeah.
Mother's Day, but it doesn't go deep
Right.
until you get older. And you'll find that even as you get older, the deepness of gratitude that I have now for my parents
Mhm.
is way deeper than it was when I was younger. And it's frustrating because I can't tell them,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, anyways, I see that in you. I think you're a really good mom.
Yeah, and you had mentioned, that Tasha was one of your best friends, and
She
I really
was.
think that about my kids because they like to go do what I like to go do. We play pickleball in the summer. We love to do the pigs for 4-H,
Yeah.
and you almost do. You make like a little built-in best friend because they go do what you want to go do,
Yeah.
and they learn to love it. And
Yeah.
so it's
I love
one
that.
beautiful thing about not having to go and try and make new friends is I have a whole bunch that
You're raising.
raising, and
Yeah.
and we have the most fun together. I've
Yeah.
had more fun over the years with my kids than I ever have
I love
trying
that.
to like hang out with other people. And I know that
Yeah.
sounds,
Well, you only have so much time with them. And like I
yeah,
always say, don't blink. It's so true.
yeah.
And my kids definitely are my best friends.
Mhm.
I told Tasha 6 months before she got sick, I said to her, I said, Tosh, you know what I just discovered? Because she was Marco Polo me all the time, every day, back and forth, because she was living at that time in Saginaw.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, who ever thought that I birthed my best friends, all 5 of you kids?
Yeah.
I made my own best friends.
Yeah.
And I like that. And we laughed about it, but it's true. If you can, because your role will change as you get older with your kids. You'll never lose the mom in
Yeah.
you, but you do switch to more of a friend and a confidant. And
Mhm. Well, you
I don't
get to a
know.
point where they don't need to be mothered 24/7, and you
Exactly.
almost can step back and just watch them make their own decisions.
And they make meals for you. Sometimes you're like, oh, this is wonderful.
Who
I
taught you how to
raised
be
cooks.
such a good cook?
Yes. Yeah. So I love that. I love watching my kids grow. it's like I said, this house has so many memories
Mm-hmm.
for me with my kids that it's bittersweet,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're empty nesting.
Yeah.
So, um,
Just
but you
reminisce.
have to go through it. It's part of life.
Yeah. All right. What advice would you give someone who wants to make a positive impact locally?
Oh, I might have said this, but don't give up. Do not give up. Don't despise small things.
Mm,
They really matter. So you might start out small. Like I look at the Love Locker and what you're doing with the Love Locker. I'm so proud of you there. I
mm,
feel like, I mean, just the people that help you now,
mm-hmm.
it's eased some of the burden for you, maybe,
Yeah.
but the vision is being caught.
Mm-hmm.
And you started out small. You did what was in your heart to do, and it's growing. I think it's going to grow more.
Mm-hmm.
But don't give up, and don't stop trying. If you want to change, somebody's life, or you want to make a positive impact on people, um, start that day doing something. Like, what can I do today? I say this and I do this. I practice this.
Mm-hmm.
When I go yard sailing, I'll drive up because I'm just not shy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'll drive up to someone's house, get out and be like, hey, how are you today? Look them in the eyes,
Mm-hmm.
talk to them like they're there. And sometimes people literally will bare their soul. I have stayed at one yard sale here in Interlaken. Um, oh my gosh. I want to say I was there 2 hours.
Mm.
Nobody came. And I talked, it was after Tasha had passed away. Well, this girl had had a child pass away.
Mm.
And she cried and I cried. I hugged her. I prayed with her. We just did the whole mom thing. But it was like, it started out generic, so to speak, our conversation, but it got more and more. And I would ask God, God, give me, who can I touch today with a whisper or
Mm-hmm.
a stroke on the canvas of their heart?
Mm-hmm.
Let me just bring some peak to the party. Or maybe I'm going to put a little bit more of the darker navy blue in there. I don't know. But in the picture of their life, what stroke do I have
Mm-hmm.
on the canvas? And look for it. So I look, I can't even say it's consciously, it is, but subconsciously I look to touch somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband used to make fun of me, like in the story goes, I'll go get in the car. I'm like, the lady behind us, blah, 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 blah. She's going through this and this. He goes, when did you have time to learn all of that? I'm like, I don't know. She just told me. And I used to tell him, I think I have like written across my forehead, tell me all your problems.
Yes.
But it's okay
Yeah.
because I look at those opportunities like, okay, this person's saying this for a reason, and I'm going to be an ear to hear
Mm-hmm.
for a reason, and I'm going to make an impact today in the smallest way.
Mm-hmm.
And I take it, he comes home from work and tells me all about his day. And when I'm locked up during the winter, sometimes I don't have a lot to say.
Yeah.
But in the summer, I have story after story.
Yeah.
I met this person. I got to pray for this person, or this person over here was going through that. And he's like, I don't know. I think we carry with us the atmosphere of love,
Mm-hmm.
and love brings down the walls.
Yeah. I
So,
think so too. That reminds me of a story. I was delivering mail, and I think at some point that day I'd said, like, Dad, let me impact somebody
yeah.
today, and so I pull into a house. I have to deliver a package. The lady comes out on the porch and she just like loses it. She starts bawling, and I was like,
Oh, no.
"Hi,"
Oh, Kaylee.
and she said, "Oh my gosh, I thought you were my daughter. I haven't spoke to her in years, and she drives the same color Jeep that you do." And she's sobbing, and I was like, well, when my life's falling apart, I like to pray. So you want to pray? And I prayed with her, and we exchanged number. There was some podcasts and stuff I wanted to send her, and I just like left the driveway thinking to myself, and like praying. I'm like, God, you're so cool sometimes.
Yeah.
You just do the most unexpected things. You put us in these situations
Yeah.
where we have no idea what we're supposed to do, and we just bring you right into the middle of it and let you
Yeah.
sort it out. So
Perfect timing.
he's done lots of things like that to me before, when you're out and
Mhm.
about and you don't expect anything to happen, and then all the things start unraveling, and you're like, let's pray about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do. So
I love that, Kaylee.
I've
That's a
been
great
there.
story.
Yeah. All right. What is something that keeps you motivated to continue to do your work when times are hard?
This was such an easy answer. Love. Plain love. And that sounds cliche, but I don't think I would be still in the ministry, doing what I do at all, if I didn't love. I didn't love God.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't love people. There's been times I've wanted to quit. I remember the very beginning of youth ministry. I was teaching the kids, and they were stinkers, let me tell you. And I was by myself in the basement, in the basement of the church, and it was a small room, cement walls, and you're just like, ugh. I mean, everything about the atmosphere
Like,
was
why
not
am
what
I here?
It wasn't one of my atmospheres, And I don't know, I had probably 10 or 11 kids, and they were just being stinkers. And I got so mad because, I took it really serious. I was young.
Yeah.
I want to say I was like 20 and not much older than the kids. And I'm like, I get so mad, and I get up and I stomp out. And I'm like, I quit. I am not doing this. And I go stomping outside, and I'm walking in front of the church back and forth on the sidewalk, and I'm pacing, and I'm mad, and I'm grumping at God. I'm like, I'm not doing this. They don't care. They're not listening to me.
Yeah.
And I hear God say, you can't quit. You can't quit. I'm asking this of you. And I'm not saying you get to quit. Oh, I'm like, really? He's told me before, you can if you want to. It's not what I want, but I'm going to give you the choice. You can do that. But this time he's like, no, you're not gonna. And I'm like, all right, fine. And then one of the kids came out. We're sorry, Miss Cindi. We'll be better. And they were better. But in the beginning, you want to quit all kinds of things. You might want to quit foster care. You want to quit youth ministry. You want to quit your marriage. You want to quit momming.
Yeah.
There's so many times you're like, I'm just tired. I just want to quit. You want to quit your job.
Yeah.
But love, if you're motivated by love, love will keep you going.
Mm-hmm.
What gets you up at 2:00 in the morning with the baby? It's not because you feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
You love that baby.
Mm-hmm.
What helps you cook meals when nobody tells you you're going to cook for someone till the day you die?
Yeah.
I remember thinking, if they told me when I first got married I'd be responsible to feed people every freaking day until I die, I would have said, wait, let me rethink this.
Yeah.
This is a lot. But love motivates you to cook for your family.
And you learn to love cooking because
You
you're
do.
stuck doing it anyways. So,
like, what can I make new?
Yeah.
Chat GPT is my new friend. Like, what can we have for supper tonight? Well, what are you hungry for? I don't know. Give me recipes. So, love motivates me to stay, to keep going. For God, for my family, for people.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I've used. I can't say use. It's what inspires me to continue on. And it looks differently sometimes. Every situation looks differently.
Love pays you back in the most unexpected ways.
Yes, it does.
Too.
Yes, it does.
Maybe not in the thick of
priceless.
Whatever you're wanting to quit, but at some point you're gonna look back. Like, I think of my kids, and I'm like, Eli specifically. Eli has always been a very difficult kid, mostly because he's really high energy.
Uh-huh.
He's super independent.
He's a feral child.
He was always that baby that's like, where'd Eli go? Where's Eli? Where did he go? I mean, he literally shut down the fair one year because my mom took him out in the Midway.
I didn't know this.
He got this little bow and arrow at a game, and he was coming back to find me to help him set it up. and he just took off. And so my mom had everybody close the fair down because he was missing till we could find him.
Kaylee.
She closes the fair down first, then she calls me. Well, I walked out of my camper and I looked down the way and I saw him coming across the field. And I was like, you can have him open the gates now. I see him.
Oh, no.
But
oh, Eli.
most recently, I've really seen a sweetness about him.
I love him.
He's transitioning into not being the youngest for the last year. He's had a baby brother. And I've just watched him be really, really kind to Marshall and just transitioning into a new role in our family. And it was like all those times were worth it. All those times I wanted to pull my hair out with him, it was worth it because he come around.
He's one of my favorites when I teach. Now, he used to be one of my challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing when you teach kids, some kids are really challenging to you
mm-hmm.
and listening or whatever. And what I would do because he was scared or shy or something. He just didn't want to either be there or whatever. Yeah. And I try to find something that I can connect with each child, that maybe we can have a conversation. And his was horses. And he would tell me what he would brighten up, and his eyes would brighten up when we would talk about horses. And I'm like, and you ride all by yourself? He's like, yep. And it was just watching him in that place, and him and I connected. And once you connect, and I've always said this, if you have discipline with a child and not a relationship, you will have rebellion. But if you establish a relationship and then bring in discipline, you'll have honor and respect. And so if I'm always just telling the kid, no, stop it, don't do this, I try to establish a relationship so that when I tell them don't do that, they don't do it because they love me.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? But they do love me. Those kids at church, I mean, I preach to adults and youth. I love youth and kids and adults. But I try to have a deeper than just surface relationship. So that then when I talk to them, they actually want to listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Eli's one of those kids. Now, when I talk, he listens to me. If I ask him to do something, he'll do it. I told you that a few Sundays ago. He's so good for me. He's so good for me. So he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he's come around.
I love him.
All right.
I mean, we're talking about Eli. Someday, Eli, you can look back on this and say, wow, I was the topic.
Yes.
I was part of the topic.
On how wild you were.
He's so sweet.
If you could encourage our listeners with one piece of advice, what would it be?
Practice forgiveness. Practice it, because you're not going to feel it. You're going to have challenges in life that you have to forgive, and look at it as a challenge. Like I started out, I went back and forgave the bullies in school. I went all the way back. God took me back with forgiveness years ago when he taught me about forgiveness. It was very interesting because I had people in a cage in my heart, little cage, and if you mentioned their name, I would be triggered, and I would take them out of the cage and slap them, punch them, hit them, shove them back in the cage, shut the door.
Yeah.
And continue on. Like, that was normal. And then the day he told me, you need to take them out of the cage. And it was interesting because one was a lady that went to our church that was really rude and mean. She was really mean to me. And I never knew why. Her husband was like in his 50s. And I was a kid. And she's like, you're flirting with my husband. I'm like, ew. But I was just a happy person. And
friendly.
After that, I kind of stayed away from her husband. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Her husband actually, there was this whole like, no. But she was very insecure and very jealous and very, very mean to me. So as time went on, she went to our church. She would just be mean to me. I couldn't stand her. Did not like her.
Right.
And she would call. Back then, we didn't have caller ID. You would answer, and her voice would be there going, "You think this, you're that, remember your family," and then she would just hang up on me. I'd be like, "What?" I mean, you run into some crazies, and that was one of them.
Do.
And then a kid from school, 2 boys that always teased me, and one would tease me and bully me, call me names, and make fun of my last name, which was Spone at the time. Call me sperm bag. I mean, just really rude things.
That's
and
terrible.
You're a kid, you're terrified.
Yeah.
He would torture me. And I tell kids now, bullying in the 70s was just normal. The schools didn't even care. Nobody told. If you did tell, they're like, "Oh, well, suck it up. Rub some dirt in it. Keep going,"
Yeah.
Now it's way better, but I didn't realize how much I hated him. Oh, I did. I hated him. And so when God started talking to me about forgiveness, he brought his name up and her name up. And I'm like, oh, those are the 2 I've got in a cage. And I love to just punch them every once in a while. Like, just take them out of the little cage and go, you know what? I feel mad.
Yeah.
Something. And I hadn't seen the kid that did this to me for years. And Kaylee was in kindergarten. Not Kaylee. Brittany was in kindergarten. And she comes home from school. I had taken him out of the cage, and I had forgiven him, on visual. So I kind of let him fly free, little bird,
Yeah.
Go to heaven and be happy. And I had really forgiven him. And then the same with this lady. And she hadn't come to our church in years because we were just horrible people to her. And so I let both of them go free. I get a phone call from her within days. Answer the phone, and I hear this. I'm like, "Hello?" I'm like, "Who is this?" And she tells me, finally gets her name out. And she's like, "I just need to say I'm sorry for the way that I've treated you all these years and your family. And I've just been really angry and jealous." She went through everything. And I've just been, and I'm like, "I forgive you." It was almost stunning to me. Not stunning. What would be the word? Shocking. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I just forgave her. And she called me. I believe in quantum physics, but I didn't know what it was back then. So she has this big meltdown on the phone. And honestly, I talked to her for a long time. I helped her in some areas. She started calling me after that.
Oh, no.
It was okay.
That'd be a worse nightmare
She was way older than me. She'd call me for advice.
Oh, wow.
And I would give it to her. And then, she's gone now. Her and her husband both passed away. But till the day she died, we had a good relationship. Then this kid, how am I supposed to, this was so cool. Kaylee comes home from school with this little invitation to go to a birthday party. And I'm like, oh, all right. She was in kindergarten. I guess we could do that. I didn't know the little girl's name. I didn't recognize it. So I drive across town with this gift with Kaylee, or with Brittany. I keep saying Kaylee, sorry. With Brittany. And who opens the door? Yeah. His name was Rick. And I look at him and he looks at me and I'm shocked because I'd already forgiven him.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, hi." And he's like, the look on his face of sheepish, like, oh my gosh, I tortured this girl in school.
Yeah.
And I go, "Brittany's here for your daughter?" It was his wife's daughter.
Okay.
So that's why I didn't recognize the last name.
Yeah, or else you would have been prepared.
Right. I might not have taken her,
right.
But I might have been scared. But anyways, he's like, "Oh, yeah." And I said, "I guess they're friends." He goes, "Yeah, it kind of looks like they are." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, what time would you like me to come and get her?" And literally, Kaylee, he didn't say a word to me. When I went to pick her up, he walked her out to the car and he thanked me. But I knew that he was sorry. And it taught me something about forgiveness. When you forgive, you do it for yourself, but you let people go free. I let them go free. So then God brought it about where there could be healing in them too.
Okay.
So forgiveness is the biggest thing I would say in life that will help you is learn to forgive. And you might have to start out with, little flicks that people flick at you, and they might go all the way up to boulders that they're whipping at you, trying to kill you with.
Yeah.
But take each circumstance as it comes.
There's no shortage of opportunities to forgive.
No, you will have it every day sometimes. If not, you'll have it with your family, your husband, if you're married, or your wife.
Yeah.
It's good practice,
Mhm.
keeps you married.
I have this envision of, like, my husband's a woodworker and I help him a lot, and so we sand a lot of wood down.
Okay.
We start with the really rough grit, like 80 grit, and go all the way down to like 220, and I always, like, I will look at older people that have been single for a really long time, and you get around them and you're like, man, they're just really rough around the edges. Like, there's things about them that you're just like, why are they the way they are? And I tell my husband, like, they need a husband or a wife in their life to use their sandpaper and rub all those rough edges.
Because they will.
Yes, that is exactly what marriage is. It's a lot of just...
You tumble together. God says you're lively stones, and then he throws us all in a tumbler. I said this last night to somebody at church because we had our prophetic service, and God said, you're in the slurry. So I told her, I said, you're in the slurry right now. She's looking at him like, I'm rock tumbling. And each stage, when you open up the top of it, it's slurry. It looks horrible. But you dump those rocks off and you throw some fresh water on them, and you can see the change. Sometimes you got to throw them back in stage 1, stage 2. But it's the same concept. They rub against each other. They knock off the rough. You and I, people that are in our lives, are put there to polish you. Don't lose the opportunity to shine. And you're going to get there eventually, but you might have to have some rough edges knocked off.
Yeah.
So that's the important thing of relationship. Nobody's an island, and nobody in the kingdom can go through it alone. We need each other. Because we need each other in society, because we make each other more beautiful by irritating the crap out of each other.
Yeah. And maybe bringing a perspective that we would never see if it weren't for the relationships and the conversations that we have with others.
Because you may trigger something in me that I didn't know was there. I know my husband did. He triggered all kinds of things in me that I didn't know was even there.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other story. But I like the saying, you're married to your beloved enemy. Your beloved, they become your beloved enemy. Like, sometimes you're like, you know what? If I wasn't married to you, but you end up, when you forgive, and you have to, when you're triggered with a $5 problem when it should be 5 cents or $50, $500, you need to look at, okay, what is going on in me? Turn it around and say, why am I so bent out of shape? This mountain molehill thing really is real. And then ask the right questions. And you'll grow as a person. So that's my my thoughts on, as far as my beloved enemy. My husband has caused me to grow. And we've been married 46 years. 46? We were married in 79. So do the math. Is it 46?
A long time.
It is. It is. And you have to do a lot of forgiving in that time, and a lot of growing. And I wouldn't go back for nothing. But going forward, you just want your body to feel good. And sorry, political calls come through. You want to feel good, and you want to I want my golden years, if you call it that. I want them to be productive.
And you really have to have a clear head to be productive.
Yep.
Well, this conversation's been really good.
Yeah, I've had fun. Who do I want to see interviewed? I thought Bob.
I asked him.
You did?
I did.
Did he say no?
He said he likes his privacy.
Oh, bless his heart. But he has a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, he does.
He's fun. He actually is fun to talk to.
Mhm.
Kathy Robinson's a good one. My husband is
Mhm.
another good one. Pastor Darren's a great one. I mean, there's so many. My daughter.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many people that even my son Seth, you know, he's not afraid to talk, but he has a lot to share
Mhm.
from, you know, he's younger, but I don't know. There was a lot of different people. I mean, I can look at the people that you know that I know,
Mhm.
you know. So I think your father-in-law too is a wonderful man. I don't know if he'll interview you
He
or let
might.
you interview.
It'd have to be all about farming, but he probably would do it.
Oh, I think as far as being a grandpa,
Yeah.
I don't know. Whenever I see him, I like what he puts off.
Mhm. Yeah.
He has a good energy field, if you want to call it that, around him. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Those are my thoughts. Thank you for letting me do
Yeah,
this.
it was fun. And thank you for listening.
Yeah,
I hope you get some wisdom from this.
it was fun.
We've been
Hopefully, I
almost
did.
an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, that went fast.